6 chill, for real.
Judah, 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 Judah. Judah, 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 Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. I'm Judah. Christ sprang out of Judah. King David was Judah. King Asa was Judah. Judah, 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 Judah.
We're live.
All right.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Once again.
All right.
Yep.
You know who we are. Israelite School of Biblical History, Practical Knowledge. 8524 South Braidwood Boulevard, Houston, Texas. 77071. For you regular viewers, you know our class times. But for you new viewers, our class times are Monday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Friday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And Shabbat morning class, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have another school out in Virginia. Got 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23517. Their class times are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And they also have a Shabbat morning class as well, same time as ours. Another location out in San Antonio, Texas. They're at 4444 Walden Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas, 78218. Their class times, they actually start a little later than us, and they go a little longer than us, but same days. All right. Other ways you can stay connected, you can reach the teachers out on Blog Talk, hosted by S.O.W. You have teachers like Tazapad, Nagaya, a wide variety of teachers on there. Banabad. There's also a kids class on Sundays, and that's blogtalkradio.com/S.O.W. So check them out. Very good classes, very good information coming out. We have other YouTube channels that we'd like to ask you to like, share, and subscribe. The channel that you're on right now, the Virginia channel, the San Antonio channel, the 5 Minutes of Wisdom, the Hidden Truth Bible Show, and the Israelite Media Corp. Those other channels that are not the school channels, like the 5 Minutes of Wisdom, the Hidden Truth, and the Israelite Media Corp, they're very good channels where you can get quicker shows. Like the classes are 2 hours, but those other ones, on those other channels, you got the 5 minutes, a little quick hit, something you can drop to someone to spark their interest, get them engaged in the word, or at least inquiring that would make them even want to watch a class. So very good tools to use in your ministry, because you can still do your part even though you're not here in the school or Houston or surrounding areas. You can drop classes to people you come across. So it's very good for that. So use the tools. Also, Israelwear, they're accepting orders. If you want to get something custom, like a tunic, headband, garment, girdle, armbands, you name it, Israelite Wear got you covered. Israelwear got you covered. We do have the fringed up subscription. We can get a custom headband and t-shirt, matching t-shirt to match for $75. And it's a monthly subscription, so it just keeps coming in monthly. So it'll be a different shirt, different headband every month. Or you can do just a t-shirt, a fringed t-shirt for $35. And again, it'll just keep coming monthly because it's a monthly subscription. $35. So check it out, very good. Easy way to get your fringe game up. We have the Hebrew Academy here in Houston every Tuesday, starting at 7. For those of you that are not in the Houston or surrounding areas, you can reach out to us and we can send you the link so that you can join us on Google Meets. In Virginia, they have the Hebrew Academy on Wednesdays. Same thing with them. If you're not in the Norfolk area and you want to be a part of the Hebrew Academy out there so you can get the 2 days in, reach out to the brother, to Zion, and he will give you give you the link for the Google Meets. If you need to reach a priest or teacher, you can reach a priest with Zakia at 757-300-4047. Or you can reach Priest Quatzazap at 303-557-8979. Please takes only during class. We have a business. It's called Sweet Ambiance. We sell your aromatherapeutic oils, your body oils, your lotions, your bath salts, your bath bombs. You know, whenever it comes to smelling good, you name it, we got you covered at Sweet Ambiance. You know, we got a slogan on there, you know, everyone should smell as good as we do. righteous.
God.
So check us out, Sweet Ambiance, and everything that you buy from Sweet Ambiance, it helps support the school. So it's a way you can get something nice that you can enjoy, and you're also still supporting the school at the same time.
God.
If you want to make any donations, alms, or priest offerings, you can drop that into the Wells Fargo account. The number should be there on the screen, or you can send it through Zelle, and that info should be there on the screen as well. We're still in need of items like pens, notebooks, apocryphers, dictionaries, Bibles, surround sound, computers, new cameras. I mean, whatever you feel like that would be useful for the ministry, because you know how we do class. Like how we keep having, we might have problems with the audio, or we might have problems with the camera. Whatever you feel like, if you have some type of expertise or some type of knowledge on how we can do it better, let us know. You can hit up Quatazab or Kazak and let us know, and if you want to send those items to us or let us know what we can get or should get, if you can get it on the low, let us know, and that helps further the ministry. Helps to get it out clear without having the interruptions and the problems that we might have sometimes with the broadcast. If you need an address to where to send those items, please hit up Priest Quatazab, and he'll give you a good address where you can send these items. Other than that, out the world.
Feeling great. Got another good class. And this one is I want y'all to think a little bit about yourselves, about others. But really, we titled this one "Achieving Longevity in the Truth." Doesn't look easy, right? It looks like the cards are always stacked up against the righteous, right? The world is against us. The world is there to help us to not endure, to not achieve that longevity that you need, because we never know when Yahweh Shai is coming, right? So our purpose is to fight, to stay engaged, to stay motivated, right? Daily. So I want to go into, what motivates us, or what should motivate us. What are you motivated by? It's a question. It's a rhetorical, but it's not. Ask yourself, what motivates me? What keeps me pushing forward every single day through all the, especially when the world presents to you that there's a better option, right? The world presents to you, you don't have to do this. You don't have to submit. You don't have to give up your life. You don't have to have discipline to make it. So you got to ask yourself, what motivates you and for how long? Because it's not just what, it's how long. How long are you going to be motivated by the things that motivate you? First scripture I want to go to 2 Corinthians. Go to 2 Corinthians 4, and I want you to start. You're going to start at verse 14. And before you start, what are some of the things that motivate you? I'm curious. Not everybody at once. My gun.
Helping our people.
Okay, helping our people. What else?
Being able to rule a house as a father, as a husband.
Okay, what else? So, being able to be in that leadership role.
Yes.
Okay, helping our people. What else? And y'all online can answer too. I just want to see where everybody's mind is at. What else? Okay.
The peace you get from the scriptures.
Okay. Elaborate on that. What do you mean?
Like, a lot of times before you had the scriptures, you didn't really know what was what. You didn't know why things happened. Why
Right.
things went wrong, why things went good sometimes. So that motivation to understand why things happen and that peace you get from it once you understand it.
Okay, sis.
Knowing that if you keep on the right track, that you're open to getting to the kingdom.
Right, that the kingdom is the furthermost goal, right? But and they're all good answers. They're all good answers, but there's one thing that you always got to keep in the forefront of your mind is that you may live and never see the kingdom. Right? So yes, that is the motivation to live this life and get ready for that kingdom, but what happens if you die and you don't see it? Don't you have to have other little small things in play to keep that bigger goal alive? Right? So you do have to have a few different things that motivate and keep you going. What's that?
Seeing some of the fruit of your labor. So if you're doing something good, then you see the results of that.
Okay, so being able to see the results of good works. Right? Derek, you had your hand up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I say for my sanity.
Okay, for your sanity, right?
Yeah.
Well, elaborate a little bit. I want y'all to divulge a little bit. What do you mean by your sanity?
For sanity, not not going crazy, man. Not being in doubt.
Okay.
Not being in doubt and not having no direction.
Not right, because where there's no vision, the people perish. So having a direction, having a sense of, I know where I'm coming from, so now I know where I gotta go. Right? Now, even in that, that's a more broader spectrum. If y'all are cold, feel free to turn that heat up a little bit. Saying that for myself. There's gotta be, that's a broad spectrum, right? Knowing where I'm coming from, knowing where I gotta go. Right? Now, what are, there should be little things in there that keep you on a daily, because I want y'all to be honest with me. Be honest. Do you wake up every single day with the kingdom on your mind? Like, you wake up every single day and a thought pops in like, damn, the kingdom. No, right? So you see why I asked that? So that means that there are other little small things before you get to Z. You got to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So there is something in between Z and A. When not everybody wakes up in kingdom. Got to make it to the kingdom, right? But you are motivated by something. There is something that's propelling you to go A, B, C, D. Sis.
Seeing growth in yourself.
Right.
For me, seeing that I wasn't the same as I was yesterday. So, if I did something yesterday that I know that I wasn't proud of doing, and I put in the same situation, usually that's how it happens. How did I handle it differently? Did I improve, or did I do it the way most how it was? So I think just the affirmations,
Right. Seeing the word work.
Right.
Seeing that when I apply wisdom,
Right.
I get different results. That's beautiful. I mean, and that should be a daily, because there's a lot of different things that we've done in life, and a lot of us are still new enough that some of the things you did in the past, they're rearing up to make a full circle, come back. You know how Satan tries you in that season, and now you're getting the opportunity to do things in wisdom. So that's perfect. What they say online: being detached from this wicked world, being of service to the kingdom, being around like-minded people, listening to ISBHPK leaders teach the truth. Also, my husband teaching me the truth. Having a smoothly run household. The body motivates me. Which there's no wrong answer.
Correct knowledge
Oh.
of the word.
Oh, you saying the Android is slow? Okay, the iPhone's faster. Let's look at his iPhone. Right, connect knowledge of the word motivates me to learn. we be having these iPhone,
You know.
Android battles. Oh, it's there on mine too.
Oh yeah, later.
Yeah. Oh wow. Con. So there's no wrong answer, but there are certain things that are in front of us that if you solely rely on those things, your motivation and your intentions are going to be put in the wrong place. Read where you at.
2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 14.
Right?
Knowing that he which raised up the Lord Jesus.
4 and 13.
4 and 13.
Right. And I'm starting here just to get a little context. Is the scripture, the point is in verse 16, but I didn't want to just start at verse 16. All right? So start at verse 13 for me.
2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 13. We, having the same spirit of faith,
Right?
according as it is written,
Right?
I believe.
I what?
I believe.
So the same spirit of faith according to what was written. I believe. Go ahead.
And therefore have I
And the
spoken.
things that we believe on, those are the things that we speak. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
We also believe.
Read.
And therefore speak.
Go ahead.
Knowing that he which raised up the Lord Yahushua
Right?
shall raise up us also by Yahushua.
Right. So I'm going here as a little opening to show what was Paul hitting the people of Corinth with. Well, he was showing them, listen, you got to have that faith that and that belief that the same one that raised up Yahushua is going to raise us up by Yahushua. The things that we teach and preach and speak, those are the things in the spirit coming from the word. Go ahead.
Verse 15. For all things are for your sakes.
Go ahead.
That the abundant grace might through the thanksgiving of many
Right.
redound to the glory of the Most High.
Right. Go to verse 16.
For which cause we faint not.
Right. You see, so why is Paul dropping this to the Corinthians? Why is Paul writing this down for us to be able to read and remember? Wait a minute. For this cause, if we believe on the right things, we faint not. Well, because there's many things that's placed in front of us that if we believe too much on those things and rely too much on these other things as motivation, you will faint. You will faint if you're motivated, if the lens of what you're looking at is not properly dissected and put in the correct perspective. And as we go through the class, y'all are going to understand what I'm saying. Like, I'll throw it out there. I'll throw one thing that's something that we use as motivation. We use each other. Right? We use man as motivation. We use signs as motivation. Now, those things are all good, but they can be bad also. Read on.
But through our outward man perish.
Right? So though that outward man, he goes through the affliction, he goes through the pain. Go ahead.
Yet the inward man is renewed day by day.
But how? And by what? What's the battery that recharges your inward man? It's a valid question. What is it that you use daily to recharge? What do you look to daily to say, you know what? I got to keep fighting. I got to keep pushing. Man, it's rough right now. Right? It's rough right now, man. Me and my husband, we might not be on the same page. Yeah. But we're going to get through it. Me and my rib, we might not be in the same headspace. We may not be doing Ecclesiastes 25:1 right now. Mm-hmm. But it's going to happen. Man, I'm not where I should be in my growth spiritually. Yeah. Right? I'm not where the brothers tell me I should be. Well, what is that? I'm not where the sisters are telling me I should be for my tenure and my time well, what is it that's going to push me and renew the spirit in me to wake up the next day and say, you know what? Let me try. Let me try to achieve that goal. Move over just a slight inch. I want to look at Eric. Okay, you moved over too much. Who's sitting right there? Ramito. Yeah. Boom. Yeah. I just want to see everybody. You had your hand up.
In the sense of like the rhetorical question that you're asking, what is it that's renewing us, our spirit on a daily basis? For myself, just a short example is definitely VA instilled that much more the communication that I have to practice with my teachers, my elders, my counselors, my priests, as well as one thing that I was able to pick up that much more in Virginia, in Norfolk, is setting up prayers on a regular basis. Especially because the scripture says, pray without ceasing. But even if my rib and I would wake up on the wrong side of the bed, we're just like, yo, we still got to set up prayers. Let's set up prayers, and now it's like, all right, setting up prayers and communicate. Talk. But that's just something within myself that my household, what we're have not mastered yet, but we're exercising so that the inward man and the spirit, and it's like, okay, this is one of the few things that we need to continue to practice.
Right. Read verse 16 one more time. And that's absolutely right. You know, setting little things up for your household to be able to help you push through the little rough patches that we all have, right? We all gonna have rough patches in life. And every relationship is going to be tried by a rough patch to see, is it really a relationship? And I'm not talking about just husband and wife. I'm talking about brother and brother, sister and sister, husband and wife, friend and foe. Everything's going to be tried to see, wait a minute, is this really a true friendship? Read verse 16 one more time.
Verse 16. For which cause we faint not.
Go ahead.
But though our outward man perish,
right,
yet the inward man is renewed day.
How many times?
Is renewed day by day.
How many times is the new man renewed?
Day by day.
Well, he should be renewed day by day. But how many of us don't have the right motivation to renew? And you're dragging through certain trials, and it's kind of feels like it's just dragging on. It's like, damn, man, I've been going through this. You know what I'm saying? Been going through whatever it is. It's like, dang, it's been 2 weeks. When is it gonna stop?
We're gonna let up.
Right. When is the Most High gonna give Satan the okay that I'm worthy? Right? When is he gonna let up off of me? A lot of us have been through that, where the refreshing day by day isn't there. You have the will to wake up and go through it, but there's not the right motivation. Your mind is not set in the right place to literally break through that wall and leave them issues behind. That's why some of us take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. You be in a rut, spinning your wheels, right? But some of us, it's like, well, that was a problem. That was the past. It's like, pew, Roadrunner style, right? But what is it that's propelling that mind? What is it that's pushing that motivation? What renews us daily? Mm-hmm.
I really like this scripture because the first part, and it's
he tells you.
It tells you. He's like, what's your cause? What's your cause that keeps you being able to put one foot in front of the other? What's your cause that keeps you to push past those barriers that are set up to hold you back? To push back those hurt feelings, or those broken relationships, or the stubbornness, or the hard-headedness, or the unforgivingness that you might have within you. What's your cause that pushes you past that? Because Paul says, for which cause we faint not. Like, I know the reason why I'm doing this, so I have all the energy needed, because I'm not getting faint. I'm not getting weary in this cause, because I know what I'm fighting for, and I'm going to push past this.
And even though I get taken daily, by the end of my day, I'm worn out. Satan done wore me out. By the time I wake up the next day, I'm already refreshed, ready to push through
All over again.
all over again as if the previous day didn't happen. A lot of us don't have that. You do have it, but it's because, again, your lens is focused on the right things in the wrong way. And you'll understand what I'm saying as we go through it. So, you know, what do we have as men and women of the truth, of wisdom? What do we have to renew us daily? What is it? There's a few things. What is it? What's that? Got the word? What else? Sis?
Prayer.
Prayer? What else? Sis?
That other brother or sister, iron sharpeneth iron.
Iron sharpeneth iron? What else? I'll give you sis.
Mercy and grace.
Mercy and grace, yes, because you didn't perish, so you were able to you were given that chance to be able to renew your strength, right? Find me that one. It just clicked in my brain for some reason. So we got men, right? We got our brothers and sisters. You know, and I'm just gonna hit a broad spectrum of things that motivate people, and it's not motivation whether good or bad, just what motivates people. Mathea.
Just like Bush Ross said, the community. When I think of it, is like that one scripture where it's like two are better than one, because if one falls, the other can help them up. But
Right.
if they're by themselves, it can help them.
Right. So unity, right?
Hi.
I don't know why that came to my mind. You know, gain motivates some people. Being able to get things, right? Being able to have things. And it doesn't mean that it's a wicked gain, right? It doesn't mean that it's a wicked gain, but some people are motivated by gain.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just a wicked thing, but how much do you rely on that motivation to keep pushing you forward? Especially in the truth, gain can't be the motivation, right? You got vainglory. You got also signs and wonders. Come on, man. When coronavirus hit, I'm sure the truth attendance, camp attendance went up. Just like in church, right? Church attendance goes up on New Year's Eve. And what is it? New Year's and Easter? Y2K?
Yeah.
Blood moons? Everybody wants to, all of a sudden they want to show up because they see these signs.
Or they feel like they're stuck in the mindset of, if I can accept the Lord Jesus Christ right before it happens, I'm good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they want to start flooding the churches. They want to start giving their life. But then once the blood moon is over, once the Y2K was done, once the whatever event that they thought was something signifying the coming of the Lord is over, they go right back to the field.
Go to Romans 10 verse 2. And I point out these things because, truthfully, yeah, I'm going to need that later on.
Okay.
Truthfully, these things shouldn't be your motivation. Another man, gain, signs and wonders, things happening in the sky, in the outer atmosphere, insurrections. These things shouldn't be our motivation. They give you a certain type according to knowledge. The knowledge is that I may look at a man, I may look at a brother that's moving in the spirit, right? And doing the right things in the spirit. And if he's my sole motivation, what happens when he stops? What happens when he falls off? Do I follow that? Well, the thought is no, right? But you will if that's your sole motivation, if that's the only thing that motivates you. Because if they're no longer doing what was pushing you, then what is there next to fill that gap? if it's signs and wonders, and things happening in America or things happening around the earth, if that's your motivation, if that's the thing that wills you to walk this walk, what happens when there are no signs? What happens when there are no wonders? What are you going to do then? What happens when there's nothing to get? When you work and you work and you work and you work and you work, but your labors are unfruitful? What then? Do you give up? You see, these things are there for a reason. But if you don't use even these things that are put in front of you to inspire you, then what will happen is when these things fail, you'll fail also. That's why I went to the first scripture, because that first scripture, he was showing about faith and belief in the word. He was showing where your motivation really should be. So as we go down, let's go to Mark 8. And this first point, I titled it, "Lord, give me a sign." Right? Little DMX for you. Lord, give me a sign. And even in that, think about it. That's all our people want. Our people want to see something to move. Our people want to see something happen for them to feel like they got to do something. And that is not the correct way. That's not the correct mind state for you to be in to move to action. Because again, what happens when the signs stop? What happens when the Most High puts a pause on all the blood moons and all the America tobacco? What happens when there's a little break point, a little rest? What do you do then? Do you become unmotivated? Read that. Read Mark 8:12.
Mark chapter 8 and verse 12. And he sighed deeply in his spirit and said,
Right?
Why does this generation seek after a sign?
Right. So this was Yahushua sighing. Sighing, man. Like he said, he sighed deeply in his spirit. And he said, why does this generation seek after a sign? Well, because we've been programmed that if something's not happening, it's all good. We've been lied to and told that if it's quiet, it's good. Why do brothers wait until their household is damn near ripped apart to figure out what's going on? Well, because the signs are in front of you. Oh, she's upset, she's disgruntled, she's mad. So, let me go do my job. But what did we talk about on Monday? What was Monday's class? What was it about? Who remembers? I remember.
I do too.
It was about what?
Maintaining your blessings.
It was about maintaining your blessings, maintaining your house, maintaining the things that the Most High gave you. Maintenance doesn't mean fixing. Maintenance is maintenance. So I'm doing things before there's a problem. But see, Israel, we want to wait till there's a problem to make things happen. We wait until things start to overrun us for us to say, oh, it's time to jump to action.
Right.
That's why Yahushua is asking. Read it again.
Mark chapter 8 verse 12.
Right.
And he sighed deeply in his spirit.
Right.
And said, why doth this generation seek after a sign?
Uh-huh.
Verily, I say unto you, there shall no sign be given unto
Go ahead.
this generation.
Yeah, what if there's no sign to come? What do you do then? Do you just stop being vigilant? Do you stop examining? Do you stop asking questions? Do you just sit back, kick up your feet, kick off your shoes, and relax your feet, right? You just chill. Everything's all good because there's no signs. There's nothing to see.
God.
See, these are things that you have to put in your mind. The what ifs. What if things around me don't? What if things around me stop in the way of putting me on notice? Then what? Am I going to continue? Why do a lot of people come in? Why do a lot of people come into the knowledge? But when you get their story, it's like, man, you know, I was smoking a lot of blunts and drinking a lot, and you know, my ribs, she started getting upset, and this started happening, and that started happening, and man, you know, I had to go ask God. Like, damn, really?
I like the ones where they come in and they said, man, I was out in the streets, I got shot 5 times and lived. I know Most High is working with me, or I had a revelation in the dream, and then I came to y'all brothers, or I was butt naked, and I happened to be facing the east praying, and
chariot fell out the sky.
Chariot fell out the sky, and then I turned on the YouTube, ISBHPK in big letters.
It said, join the Hebrews.
Join the Hebrews.
Big orange and red letters. Join the Hebrews. Somehow, then you had a dream. You fell asleep that night. You dreamt the whole book of Revelations.
Con.
Right? And then you woke up like, got my sign. But and that's all like a week's time frame, right? But let's go back. Your whole 35 years, your whole 40 years. That was a sign. Your 25 years, your 19 years. That was a sign that the Most High wanted you. Why? Because he didn't take you out. He pulled you away from all the negatives. Think about how much of our people grow up in the hood and make it past the hood, or just make it in the hood. That's a sign. We're looking for a chariot to literally sit in front of your house and beam down on top of it like Mount Sinai. But that's not what's needed. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. The signs are already around us. But who's really looking at the things in their life and saying, man, yeah, definitely dodge the bullet on that one. Right? Literally, figuratively, definitely escaped on that one. He said a sign is not going to be given to this generation. Go to 1 Corinthians 1:22.
1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse.
Not the sign you think. Because there are signs that are given, but not what you think. Yahweh Shai is not going to float out the sky and call you by name and beg you to come with him. But guess what? He will send somebody. He will send a messenger. He will send a man. He will hand you a flyer. Right? God. He will put you through trials and tribulations and pull you right through them. And you be sitting back like, man, how'd that happen? The Lord gave you a sign. Just not what you thought he was going to give you. Read.
1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 22. For the Jews require a sign.
Right.
And the Greeks seek after wisdom.
This is why a sign won't be given. He's giving you all the signs in life. Now it's time for you to seek the wisdom to understand your life. To understand, wait a minute, what should be propelling me through this next chapter? What is it that I should be, the wood for my fire, the coals to my oven? What should those be? Go from there. Go to Matthew 24:24. Whoa. Really? That's the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You got a little
I'm
late start.
going to shut up. What time did we start?
Well, the internet was messed up.
Oh, it did, huh? Go ahead.
The book of Matthew chapter 24 verse 24.
Right.
For there shall arise false Christs.
You know why you can't rely on signs? It's going to tell you right here. Go ahead.
And false prophets.
And what are these false Christs and false prophets going to be doing? Read on.
And shall show great signs.
Wait, they shall do what?
Show great signs.
They're going to show you all the promise. They're going to show you all the signs. They're going to tell you, hey, if you sow $100, you'll make $1,000. And then you go to work and you get a $1,000 paycheck. You're like, man, that guy was right. Damn, Lord gave me a sign. The devil gives signs too. Go ahead.
And wonders.
Right?
Insomuch that, if it were possible.
Yeah, if you relied solely on signs and wonders, read.
They shall deceive the very elect.
Even the very elect is going to fall. If the signs and wonders are your motivation, solely. If you don't put signs and wonders into perspective. Why did he say, be not dismayed at the signs in heaven in Jeremiah 10? Why did he say that? Because the very elect was going to look up in the sky and see a blood moon or see some activity in the atmosphere and say, man, Christ is here. Christ already came. How many people you ever met people that said, the Messiah already came. His second coming already happened.
Yeah.
He's already here on earth. They've been deceived. Why? Because they're looking up in that sky and they're seeing things move around. And they thinking that Christ pierced that atmosphere. Their motivation is misplaced. So now they're motivated and living their life off of a false pretense of Christ already, the second coming already happened. So now they're motivated in the wrong way. You see that? Read on.
Verse 25.
Read that one more time. Somebody else.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 24.
St. John 4:48.
For there shall arise false Christs.
Right.
And false prophets.
Right.
And shall show great signs and wonders.
Go ahead.
Insomuch that, if it were possible,
right,
they shall deceive the very elect.
Go to St. John 4:48. I'm not sick, it's just sinuses.
You know what that makes me think
of? I gotta say that because everybody gets nervous.
That scripture. You know how many people flock to these churches that so-called say that they're healing people? You got Benny Hinn doing the hurricane with his jacket and knocking people up.
The Hadukins?
Yeah, the Hadukins. And then what's his name? Kenneth Copeland. Spitting the coronavirus away.
But spreading it.
You know, all these, these
blowing it away.
Jiving pastors. You know, they crack me up with just thinking about this verse and thinking about how they're showing signs. These are staged signs. You know who else was showing signs? Pharaoh's magicians. They were showing signs. Just like Father Zab said, the devil can show you signs too. They were showing signs. Anything just because they multiplied a wicked, you multiply something wicked. Do you think that becomes something righteous? Nah. I mean, and they're faking the funk like they're doing something righteous as far as like what Yahushua was doing, but it's all staged just to draw away whoever they can draw away. Like it says, Satan, he's a roaring lion, seeking who he can devour. Don't get devoured. Don't be caught up in what the signs are showing. Be caught up in the spirit, the truth.
Go ahead. Read on. Go ahead. Read St. John 4:48.
St. John chapter 4 verse 48. Then said Yahushua unto him, except ye see signs and wonders, ye will not believe.
You will what?
Ye will not believe.
See, he was telling them, unless you see signs and wonders and miracles and water turning to wine and me walking on the ocean, it's like Israel won't believe, man. I put it on Facebook the other day. I said, this is 99% of Israel. Unless you see something, you ain't going to believe. Because Israel is the Jerry Maguire, show me the money. Show me something. And not really the money, but we're on that show me, right? Is this the show me state? No, the show me state is where?
Missouri.
That's Missouri, right? The show me state. We're in the everything's bigger in Texas state.
Yeah.
Right?
I never knew about the show me state.
Yeah, the show me state. But that's the mentality of our people is you got to show me something for me to believe. But what if what you're being shown is wrong? Just like Pharaoh's magicians. They were able to show Pharaoh that, yeah, we can bring up flies and frogs. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can make blood in the water. Hey, we can do it. Right? But was that according to the Spirit? No. But a lot of the very elect get deceived because they get these signs. Now, let's be totally honest. Signs and wonders are going to always happen. But it's almost like having dreams. You got to be able to decipher what's a surefire sign to follow and what's just chaos and confusion in your own mind playing tricks. Your own mind trying to show you which way to go. that's something that you got to look at within your lives and say, well, what signs do I go for? What signs do I follow? But again, is that your sole motivation? Go from there. Go to Matthew 16:4.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
you just made me think about something. Y'all all know this. Y'all remember the character in Batman, Two-Face? What was his sign?
Question mark.
The question mark, the Two-Face, because he flip a coin.
Yeah.
If it land on one side, he gonna do it. If it land on the other side, he not gonna do it.
Question mark. Sounds pretty transgender to me.
Like every time you
You don't know what he is?
you gonna flip the coin, find out. All right, you know what? Should I go to that school? Should I show up to class? Let me flip the coin. It don't land on the side that you really desire, which is to stay at home. It land on the wrong side. You go, okay? Well, let's do best 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. Turn it into a 5 out of 5, 3 out of 5.
And that's the mental game that Israel plays. You'll try to play with the sign according to what you really want, not according to. You might ask the sign, you got it, but you try to play it according to what you want. Oh, that wasn't really it. That ain't it. Oh, that looks like it might be it, so I'm gonna go with that. Because that's what I really want. What'd you have, bro?
I see now that I was really deceived in church because of the fact that a lot of people, on what you're saying, deceived that they want Trump to win so badly. And these pastors and prophets like these prophets that Trump.
Can you speak a little louder so they can hear you online?
I'm gonna say Trump's supposed to win.
Uh-huh.
Most side saying Trump's supposed to win, and that's God's will, and stuff like that. That's how bad I was deceived in the church. You know what I'm saying? Like on this day.
God.
Go to Matthew 16. I want you to start at verse 3.
Matthew.
Verse 1.
Chapter 16, verse 1.
Right.
The Pharisees also, with the Sadducees, came.
Right.
And tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven.
Yeah, if you're the Messiah, if you're sent from Yah, bro, you gotta do something. All this talking, all this teaching. Oh, remember, we all the way in Matthew the 16th chapter, so he's been moving around these Pharisees and showing them wisdom. Breaking down the law. Matthew 5 already passed, but he broke down the understanding, the spirit of the law. We all the way in Matthew 16, and they still like, well, we know you talked a good one. We know you showed us all this biblical stuff, right? We know you talked all this spiritual crap. We know you're eloquent in the word, but show us something, right? We need to see something. Go ahead.
He answered and said unto them,
right?
When it is evening, ye say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering.
Now, ain't that how the meteorologists hit you? They're like, oh yeah, the high pressure and the low pressure, it's going to be rainy. And you're like, okay, let me rock the hoodie and umbrella and rain jacket. You step outside, you blazing. Ain't not one raindrop. You're like, damn, this nigga told me it's supposed to rain because of the high pressure and the low pressure. They were going to mix and create a cold front, and it was going to be just thundering, right? Or the vice versa. And you thought it was going to be hot out. And when you step out, prepped, because they saw signs, and they told you what they saw, and what happened? You dressed for what they saw. You dressed for what they told you was going to happen. Go ahead.
O ye hypocrites!
Oh, you what?
Hypocrites!
Go ahead.
Ye can discern the face of the sky.
Right.
But can ye not discern the signs of the times?
So, he gave us the signs of the times in Matthew, 24?
Yeah.
When you see wars, rumors of wars, nation rise up against nation, famine, earthquake, pestilence. But wait, I'm waiting on the blood moon though. I'm waiting on that because that right there is going to be the real test of time that it's time for me to get my act together. Or I'm waiting for the gunshot. I got to get my arm blown off, right? I got to get my kneecaps bent back.
Oh, no.
I got to get twisted up in some weird type of accident that only the Most High is going to make you survive in to feel the error of your ways. I gotta go through some weird circumstance where everybody around me gotta suffer and I gotta just sit back and watch helpless. I gotta wait for those signs. Right? I can look in the heavens and, oh, it's gonna rain today, y'all. Get your umbrellas. Right? 100% participation.
Precipitation.
I know. I was being, they didn't even catch on. They were like, participation. Precipitation. I know the difference. I was just joking. But it's 100%. 100% wetness. Right? I can see that. Oh, look, man, storm's coming.
Yep.
Right? You know, because when you look to the east and when it's dark, and then on the west, the way the sun is about to set, that right there tells me it's gonna snow tomorrow. That's what he was telling them. Like, you know it's gonna snow tomorrow and good weather this evening, but you don't know your own circumstance based off of what's happening in your life. You're motivated off of the weather. Well, I'm motivated because it's gonna snow, so I gotta get the raincoat, the jacket, the umbrella. I'm motivated to do a certain thing according to what I can see afar off. But when it comes to our own lives, the signs have already been given. But now you're waiting for another sign to be motivated? Ooh, that's scary. I mean, how many overdoses can one person have? How many domestic violence situations can one person have? How many close calls can one person have? Every minute the law is on your tail, and you're doing the pucker up the cheeks when the cops get behind you. They ain't get me, so I'm good. Damn, man. But you got a pound in the back seat. Vaseline with saran wrap. How many signs do you need? How many bullet holes? Well, I got that one because I wasn't listening. And then he gave me that one. Because that's what's going to happen after you get into the knowledge.
Yeah.
And bro, like, damn, what the hell happened to you? Oh, yeah, because, 10 years ago, look, I got that one. That was right there from 94. That right there was from 96. But I learned the Bible, and then I wasn't messing with it.
Right.
And then that right there, 98. And you got all these scars. You got a timeline of scars and remembrance, all because what? You were seeking that ultimate sign. That same person, man, pushing around in a wheelchair. Why? Because he got the ultimate sign that he was looking for. Most High cripple you. Most High make it to where now you're going to come in maimed. You're going to come to serve him maimed. Because the signs were given. But you didn't take adherence. Read.
A wicked and adulterous generation.
He said what?
A wicked and adulterous generation.
What type of people?
Adulterous generation.
A wicked and adulterous generation. Read on.
Seeketh after a sign.
Wait, what do they look for?
Seeketh after a sign.
Go ahead.
And there shall no sign be given unto it.
You see that? The Most High is not here to send you signs and apparitions. And that shouldn't be our sole motivation. Well, man, I seen it. Lord, give me a sign. Let me know that's on your mind. Yeah, I got to talk to you and all. Like, man, stop. DMX is fantasizing. How many signs that nigga need? I mean, damn. How many child support cases does one man? I think he's the most locked up celebrity ever. Ever. He got Robert Downey Jr. beat. He got all the Baldwins, Alec, all the Baldwins beat. He got T.I. beat. He got Shia LaBeouf beat. DMX done been locked up and in court and more court cases, if I'm not mistaken, than any rapper I know. Every minute this dude was going to court. How many signs you need? Where child support case for this case, that case, gun charge, this charge, that charge. And I think he only did an accumulation of maybe 3 years in jail out of his whole 30-year career of going to jail. Most High was giving you the sign that get your stuff right and I'm going to protect you. But are you still talking about, Lord, give me a sign? I mean, your teeth were falling out from doing crack. What other sign do you need? That crack kills. Did you have to actually die? Some of us actually got to die. And then you'll realize, like, oh, okay. Like the scriptures say, now I got to pay for it after death. Now I got to suffer after death. Some of us got to feel that spirit getting torched up. Because you didn't take hold of the signs here on earth. The signs in your immediate life. There are immediate signs that he gives. That even those shouldn't be your sole motivation. They should be the propelling of your spirit to keep pushing. But that shouldn't be your sole motivation. Because what happens when he said there's no signs and visions? Cut those off. Then what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to fall off too. Read on.
But the sign
that's it on that. That's it on that. So we're understanding that your motivation can't be signs and wonders solely. Right? What else can they not be? They can't be man. I can't be your motivation. He can't be your motivation. The next sister can't be your motivation. I know you're saying, well, wait, hold up. What about examples and what about that? Well, there's a difference between an example and motivation. But men make mistakes also. Men are bound to make mistakes. There's no man that's perfect. So why can't you look at flesh as your example? Because flesh is weak. What you got for motivation? Motivation.
So, just a Google search of motivation for
right?
The definition is the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way.
Right, so a man can't be the reason why you behave in a particular way or the reason why you act a certain way. Man can be an example of how you act, but he shouldn't be the reason why you act. There's a difference. Give me Galatians 1 and verse 10. Too many brothers are looking at the wrong motivations, man. It's like now you want to do because a brother is doing. Well, wait a minute. How come it wasn't in you to already do? How come it wasn't in your mind to do before you seen another brother do something? Well, I get it. You probably didn't have the know-how. You probably didn't have the knowledge that you could do. So you have to see it being done. But then what happens after you see it being done? Wasn't something in each one of us supposed to be sparked? When Peter seen Christ walk on water, right? What pushed him to go walk on his own water? What pushed him? What pushed him? What was it? It's easy. It starts with F. I make it easy for y'all. It starts with F. What? It was his faith. How do we know though? How do we know it was his faith that propelled him? Sis. Because when his faith got weak, he started to fall. Right? So his faith propelled him to a certain point. But then when his faith started to get weary, he started, oh, stop. Wait a minute. But at first his faith, it was strong. It wasn't the fact that Yahweh Shai was doing that. Oh, I want to go do that. It looks cool. It was, oh, wow, that could be done? Okay. Let me try that. Let me see where my faith is at. But too many of us are motivated off of, well, someone else is doing it, so now, I guess it's my turn. I guess I should just do it now just to feel what they felt. Read that.
Galatians chapter 1 verse 10.
Go ahead.
For do I now persuade men?
Go ahead.
Or God?
Right. Who are we supposed to be in the business of persuading? Man or God? Read.
Or do I seek to please men?
Go ahead.
For if I yet please men.
Too many man pleasers in Israel. Too many people are motivated by the old that a boy. Right? The old right? You know how they do it in sports. They're real homo, smack each other on the butt. But too many of us are motivated by the kudos. Oh, congratulations. What a great job. What happens when that don't happen? When there's no one there to kudos you. When there's no one there to congratulate. I mean, when Paul got stranded on Patmos, who was giving him the kudos to get up and get going back to where he had to go? When Noah was building a boat for 100+ years, who was there like, hey, Noah, man, I like the way you put that beam up. Like the way you cut that and nail that in and with the nails.
What? That's gonna make me nail the next one.
Yeah, I'm gonna nail the next one and more perfect. What the?
Hey, come look at this. You see that one?
No, you know why? Because there was no one there to see it. Everybody else was like, man, this nigga's crazy. I'm about to go party. You see that? Everyone else was like, bro, what are you doing? Who cares what you're nailing up? Why are you even building a boat? It ain't never rained. Will you keep building your boat if no one's there to observe your work and oh man, I like the way you put that window in. That's real centered. Right? I like the way you built that deck, man, with no splinters. Dang, man, we can just walk up here barefoot. Little sun deck. Got a little tan on. What's going to happen when there's no one there to tell you, good job, that a boy? Who are we to be persuading?
Ooh.
Who are we supposed to be looking for the kudos from? Me personally, I don't need no one to tell me good job. I've been used to not hearing it. I've been used to not hearing good job since a young man. So I've always, no matter what I've done, I've always had it in my mind to be motivated off of what needs to be done. And it doesn't matter what arena I was in. Didn't matter what arena I was in. That's why, I mean, not to brag, but I would go get a job, and I was never the guy to be you could come in lower entry position, but I was always moved up to management. That was just something that was in me. That I'm not gonna stay at this level. Hell nah. I need to be where the big boys are stomping. I need to be where the upper echelon cats is moving around at. I wasn't waiting for the kudos to handle business or for the congratulations. And there's nothing wrong with getting them. But that can't be your motivation. Go ahead.
I should not be the servant of Hamashiach.
Right, for it, if I yet please men, you're not a servant of Christ. You're a servant of men. You're motivated by man. Some of you women, some of you sisters, you got to check your motivation when it comes to this aspect. We know what y'all do. We know the amount of work y'all put in, and I'm speaking of the sisters in this camp. We know what y'all do. The garments, the feasts, all the different duties and departments. We know. But does it stop because we're not always on the text acknowledging you? Man, and the sisters, y'all are great. Does that stop? Does the work diminish because your husband didn't come home and congratulate you on a beautifully cleaned house and an immaculately clean cooked meal? Right? All you gotta do is look at the signs. He scarfed it all the way down. Boom. Must have been good. Or he was probably hungry. Right? It was the latter. Because you're not constantly have the that affirmation. Do I now diminish my works? Some of us do. And you can see it. That you're motivated by the wrong things. Go to Galatians 4:18. Go to Galatians 4:18. Yep.
Galatians chapter 4 verse 18.
Go ahead.
But it is good to be zealously affected, always in a good thing.
See, the Bible says it's good to be zealously affected. How does that come about? Well, I might have to see something. I might have to see the next man doing it to show me that, man, let me get on my game, right? Let me step my game up. I can do it too. Go ahead.
And not only when I am present with you.
You see, but not just because a man is there doing it is where your zeal lies. Not because you only see it being done. It's like, oh, no, I can do it now. What happened when that person is gone? When they were just there to set you the example and then roll out. Think about Timothy. You got to do a little bit of reading up on these biblical men like Timothy. I'll give you the location of where Timothy was born. I'm going to show y'all something. Timothy was born basically in Turkey. All right? Syria, which is what you would know today as Turkey. When Paul got Timothy, Paul was the example to Timothy. This is how you're going to move. This is how you're going to talk. This is how you're going to believe. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to teach others, right? This is the faith, right? But did Paul move around with Timothy every single place they went? No. That's why he had to write to him. That's why there's a book of Timothy. Because Paul had to write to Timothy, but Timothy had to learn, be diligent, be faithful, and then continue as if Paul was there. Right? Timothy went to Corinth a few times. He went to Galatia. Right? He went to a few different places and helped set up shop. But what if his motivation was Paul? I'm only motivated by the brother Paul. He would have went out and did things according to what he wanted to do. Because, well, Paul ain't here, so, I'm not really that motivated. Man, where's Timothy? Where's Timothy at? Timothy's at the crib. Timothy's at the house, but the brothers need to be trained. But, he ain't that motivated today. But as soon as Paul shows up to check what's going on, Timothy, reporting for duty. Right? Ready to go, like, man. Nah, you gotta look at these things. You gotta look at the men of the Bible and what made great men great. It wasn't that the Most High just wanted them to be great. They were great because of what they had in them to get things done. The women of the Bible. What made the women of the Bible great was not just because they were 5 foot, bronze eyes, little streaks in their hair, wavy curly Brazilians, and a tight skirt. No, it was what pushed them to be great women. What were they doing outside of their husband motivating them? Your husband can't be your motivation. What if he falls off? Well, through history, I've seen it. Husband fall off, and who's right behind them? The rib, right behind him, following him in his wickedness. Not every single time, but I've seen it. Or a brother fall off, and then who's right behind him? The brother that brought him in. My brother brought me into the truth. When he fell off, I was there at his door every day trying to get him back in. Knocking every day, I would show up to his house. Man, what's going on with you? And it was funny because Kazak would be feeding me what to say to him. I was young in the truth. I didn't know what the hell to say. He fell out like maybe 6 months after I got in.
Dang.
Yeah. So I'd pull up to the house, kick it with him a little bit, because I could be like, man, this is what you got to talk to him about. Show him this. And I'd be like, yeah, let's read this. Right? But I could have easily been like, oh, well, you brought me here. You're leaving. So, man, I'm right with you. Right? We were basically joined at the hip at a certain point in life. But I had to recognize, wait a minute, hold up. This is that man's path. He's motivated by something else right now. My motivation's got to be Christ. Even though I don't have the full understanding of what's going on, I understand enough to know. You step back, it's a wrap. Right? Go ahead. Where you at?
Verse 18.
Right. Go to Philippians 2:12. Philippians 2:12.
Philippians chapter 2 and verse 12.
And then you're going to have 2 Corinthians 5 and 9. Read.
Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only,
Go ahead.
but now much more in my absence.
Right. See, Paul was reminding the people of Philippi that what? Listen, I know that when I was there, y'all was moving and grooving, but y'all supposed to be doing even more that I'm not around. Where's your motivation? Where's that renewing day by day? What's renewing you in that mind to keep pushing? What's inspiring you? Me? No. You don't see me. Paul was reminding them, you ain't going to see me all the time. So if I'm the motivation, that means that you're only going to do things when I'm around. Read on.
Work out your own salvation with fear.
Wait, he said do what?
Work out your own salvation with fear.
Because no man can save you. Looking at what the next man is doing, your husband, he can't bring you into the kingdom. You can't ride his coattails. You just gonna grab onto the ends of his fringes. I know what it says. They gonna grab onto the skirt of him that is a Jew. Yada 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 yada, right? But that's not saying, oh well, I get to just jump on his fringes, not do my own works. That will make it into heaven. Nah. I don't have to have a motivation, a self-will, a fire that burns in me. I could just, get warmed by his fire. He got enough fire for both of us. Well, I don't pray because he prays for both of us. What? Wait a minute. So who's praying for him? I don't pray because he prays for both of us? I've heard that before. So you're not motivated enough to pray for your family? And to pray for your husband and your children that they make it through this life? See, the motivation, the lens has to be changed a little bit. Again, man is there. It's going to tell us as we read on. I'm going to show y'all. Trying to go through this very, very methodically so y'all understand. I'm not disannulling man's works, good works. It says it. Be zealously affected in good work. But what if I don't know how to do good works? What if I don't know how to perform good works? Well, there's somebody there that's going to show me, right? But once I'm shown, I'm supposed to grab the mantle and run my own race. Right? Come. He said, work out your own salvation with what?
With fear.
With what?
With fear.
Go ahead.
And trembling.
Yeah, you're supposed to be scared for your own self. The scriptures say the devils believe, but they fear. Ooh. You believe there's a God, but so does Satan.
Oh yeah, Moshe dropped that in.
Yeah. What is that? James 2:19. Thou believest that there's a God. Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. Where's your trembling at? Where's your fear? Where's our fear and trembling day to day? To push us into the mind that, wait a minute, I got to be in this for the long haul. Wait a minute, I got to make sure that I'm renewing my strength. Wait a minute, I got to make sure I'm setting things up to be able to push past my addictions, push past my pride, push past the hurt, push past the lack of forgiveness. What am I setting up on a day-to-day basis to motivate me so that these things don't pull me back? Your pride is like that parachute that comes out. You ever see the sprinter and he got the parachute and it's holding him back? That's your pride. That's hate. That's addiction. That's lack of motivation. That's slothfulness. That's all those things that are like a parachute holding you back, man. Not really making you stronger, but once you release those things, you're off. You got something?
Yeah, just hit on the point of where you're saying when someone's around or someone's in front of you, you don't understand that that the Most High God is admitted. When you think you're by yourself, you're not. To show face to someone else. Oh, hey, look, husband, I'm doing a good job. Look, brother, look, I did this for you. Oh, look at me. You got to have a look at me to get an attaboy, pat on the back, pat on the tush, however your pat comes. You want the praise of men. You want to be seen by someone. But you don't understand that the Most High is still seeing you, whether they see you or not. Your works are still being counted. Now, what's your motivation for your works? That's the whole class, right? Where is your direction? You don't understand that you got to still have the fear. The Most High is watching you. Don't slip up. Don't make the mistake. Read on.
And let me say this: why does it got to come down to you fearing and trembling?
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't come down to all of a sudden now I'm in a fearful state. I'm trembling my boots off. You're the one looking over your shoulder for fiery indignation, like it says in Hebrews. You looking over your shoulder like, damn, man, oh, the Most High is coming for me. Let me get busy. Ooh, that's a wrong motivation.
Can I get another one?
Yeah. Oh, you get everything.
Let's drop that one.
You got them all.
And go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 47.
You got them all.
Deuteronomy.
Because the point that I want is that the Most High see you all the time. And then to finish out the scripture, it says eyes are 10 times brighter than the sun. So
10,000 times.
10,000 times brighter than the sun.
That's right.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 47.
Go ahead.
Because thou servest not
the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
Read.
For the abundance of all things.
For the abundance of all things. So it don't have to just be for the fear. Oh, I don't want to get checked. Oh, Most High's going to smash me.
Nope.
No. Most High is trying, he would prefer for things to go well with you. That's why he says, I know the thoughts that I think towards you. Thoughts for peace. Those are his thoughts towards us. Now, we got to do it knowing that the Most High wants the peace for us. Look, just like when you instruct your children. You instruct your children in such a way that when they set off on their own, your instructions are still laid within them, and they continue on the path that you had laid down.
I'm gonna let you jump right back in. They always ask the question: do you rather be feared or respected? Fear or respect? Which one you want? Which one y'all want? Fear or respect? Sis. Respect. What you think, Derek? Fear or respect?
Respect.
Respect. What you want? Respect. What? Shara? Respect, right? I want love. I want love. You know why? Because love conquers everything. I want real love, or I want real charity. You'll get respect when there's real love. You'll get, and you don't have to fear, right? It tells you perfect love casts out all fear. You see that? So the world tells you to be that motivation should be fear or respect. But they never tell you, and what do they tell you? Don't love, show no love, love will get you killed, right? I'm quoting Get Rich or Die Trying. Show no love. He's like, show no love, love will get you killed. Right? I'd rather be feared than love. I'd rather be loved. Because love is going to conquer all that. You don't have to have fear and love. And love is going to, a person that really loves, they're going to show you that respect. See how the world gets it wrong? And they tell you this is what you got to be motivated by? And this is what you should have other people motivated by towards you? I don't want nobody to fear me. What good is that? You step into a room and everybody's nervous. Can't get nothing done. Nobody wants to talk to you. We're so nervous. Like, why?
Nobody calls you because they feel like you go.
Yeah.
It's almost, I think about, you made me think about when Samuel was coming to the city, and it was like, do thou come in peacefully?
Peacefully? Yeah, like they knew the power of Samuel. Like the things that he did to them before,
God,
where he was torching up the city. They were like, hold up, we nervous now. What are you coming for?
Yeah.
But I'd rather be loved. I'd rather have that charity, that real love, not that fake love, not that S.W.V. love. I'm talking about real biblical love where you don't gotta fear. The Most High don't want us to fear him like I'm scared, trembling in my boots, scared to walk. But he wants us to fear him out of, let me have respect for his ways. That's the fear, the reverence. Let me put him first. Knowing the power of the Lord, right? But I don't have to feel the power of the Lord. And then you get to the point where you start feeling it, now you fearful. Your motivation is wrong. You know why I'm saying it's wrong? Because when that fear wears off, then what? Then what? You go right back. You go right back to doing the same old thing. When that man leaves, when that man is no longer there, when that sister is no longer there, when them signs is no longer there, what do you have to push you? You have more?
Oh, no.
Oh, what's that? Yashikar.
So the other day at the end of Hebrew Academy, I had brought to your attention, priest. I was like, man, I was nervous. The pressure was on, and you're like, well, why? And I said, well, because you're here. And then what's so crazy about it though is like how smooth and eloquent and just like with the hospitality, the charity, the love, and the ministry that you partake in. You know what I'm saying? They call me Senor Gasolina, by the way, real quick.
Right?
Nah, but your response to that, when I said that, right away, you're like, you looked at me, you paused, you said, I'm just here to help you.
He's here to help.
If you have a question or something, just ask. Like, I'm here to help you. And then I'm walking out, and that was the last thing you said in my mind. I'm walking out, and it's like, in my mind and in my spirit, and just the outside influences steady want to try to confuse and influence and distract and throw you off. And it was just like the clarity of the spirit. Like I never asked, like, yo, if I have a question, can I bring it to you? Which you always say either way. But for whatever reason, that came out after the end of Hebrew Academy, and I'm like, then you said what you said. Like I'm only here. I'm not here to make you scared or whatever. I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh snap.
I'm not here to be feared. What good is a leader that's feared? In the way of trembling and fear, and I can't talk to this person. He's not a good leader. He won't know what's going on. That's how leadership gets overthrown. Because there's somebody like, man, I can't stand this guy. I need a new leader, and they end up being the same thing as him or worse. But that's not why we're put here. We're not put here to, like it says taking the oversight, not for filthy lucre, not by constraint. We're not here to constrain and choke the fear out of y'all. Nah. That would be the wrong motivation for me to be up here. That would be the wrong motivation for y'all to follow. Right? 8:30. Right, go to 2 Corinthians 5 and 9. But there got to be respect. Best believe I will turn up.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. There has to be a respect. But see, think about it. Think about this. The respect is this. How many times have I threw my rank out there? A lot of y'all don't even know my rank. But my point is, I don't use that. Why? Because the respect is we're brothers. Before a rank, before anything, we got to be able to deal as brothers and sisters. Remember, the law is for the lawless. So if I got to come with my rank, that means you got to check yourself. If I got to say, listen, and then I got to be doing that, or sis, you forgot? If I got to do that, then that means that there's a forgetfulness of order and respect. You see that? That rank is not needed when there's respect and order. It's only needed when there's not. 2 Corinthians 2:5.
2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 9.
Right? Oh, 5 and 9. I'm slow. Go ahead.
Wherefore, we labor.
Right?
That whether present or absent.
Wait, we do what?
We labor.
So we work, whether present or absent, read.
We may be accepted of him.
Of man?
Of him.
Yeah, we work to be accepted of the Most High. We work that our motivation is that the Most High accepts our work. Everything I do, but I don't care if I put together a class and I'm like, man, this class is basic. I've done it. I've heard it. I'm like, still, is the Most High going to look at it and say it's a good work? That's first and foremost.
God.
That's the first thing on my mind. Is this acceptable to the Most High?
God.
That's how we got to be looking at things. We got to be looking at things. Wait a minute. What is the Most High seeing from me? Not what another man is going to think. Half the time, y'all think the classes are whack anyway. Y'all be like, man, these things is cutting my spirit. It hurts, this, that. I don't want to hear it. But what is acceptable from the Most High? By the Most High. That's why we work. That's why we should work and labor. You sisters, that's why you should labor. Yes, you want your husband to look at your works and say, damn, babe, nice headband.
Yeah.
Right? And husbands, you should look at your ribs work and that's a nice headband. Or, man, that meal was great. Or, man, I like the way you got the house looking, or what, whatever. Nothing wrong with giving that acknowledgement. There's nothing wrong. But that can't be the sole reason. That can't be the main thing, sis.
It can't be expected either.
It can be.
If you don't get it, then you're gonna stop doing what you're supposed to be doing just because you expect to get that.
Some have.
You continue to do it because that's your duty, and you know that's something you're supposed to do.
And because you're trying to be accepted of the Most High above all. Listen, I'm going to show y'all something. Forget about duty. Forget about it's your duty. Because whose duty is it to wash the dishes? I'm going to use something real basic and stupid. Whose duty is it to do dishes? Whose duty is it to do laundry? Whose duty is it to sweep up the floor? Whose duty is it to clean the table? Whose duty is it to watch the kids? Whose duty is it to study? Whose duty is it to teach? If you see the floor dirty, you sweep. That's acceptable. If you see dishes in the sink, you do the dishes. It's acceptable, right? Now, yes, there are things that, okay, you're going to handle this more because I got to handle this more, right? But if I see something wrong in my house, I'm not going to overstep a pile of crap because I feel like my rib got to pick it up or the kids. I'm like, man, who left this pile of crap here? I'm going to talk crap, then I'm going to sweep it up, or I'm going to get somebody to do it. But the point is, you get me motivated off of, it's my duty. You know why? Because what happens when that motivation will run out? Because then another duty is going to come up. And another thing to do. Oh man, that's my duty. Well, it's my duty to smoke drugs. It's my duty to please all the women. Right?
Yeah.
It's my duty to please all the men. So even, the reason why I'm bringing it like that, I'm trying to show y'all that if it's not more than just duty, then guess what? Think about all the people that went into the military because it was their duty and left the military early, went AWOL, dereliction of duty, hate the military, hate America, became patriots.
Yep.
Right? It was their duty. But what happened? In the course of doing the duty, they found things they didn't like in the duty. And it switched their motivation. You see that? So yes, it is the duty, but it has to be so much more. It's telling us here. Read that again.
2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 9.
Go ahead, read.
Wherefore we labor.
See, this is why we work. Go ahead.
That whether present or absent, we may be accepted of him.
This is the whole motive. To be accepted of the Most High. So what does that take? Well, whatever I got to do, I got to do. Whether I got to be a fool for Christ's sake, whether I got to suffer wrongfully, whether I got to confess my faults, whether I got to, serve great men, whatever it is, this is what I got to do. Whether I got to be the Abigail with a Nabal.
Wow.
Because some of y'all think like, oh, my husband's off, so that gives me the free range to be off like him.
The license.
Well, what about being the Abigail with the Nabal? What about being the wisdom amongst fools? That's more honorable. Not be the fool with the fool. This story's there for a reason, sisters. Some of y'all are dealing with that. Got a husband, he ain't all the way there. He's rough, he's rugged, he's raw. His wisdom ain't all the way up. And you're like, well, since he's off, guess what? I'm going to be motivated by him to be just as off. So I'm gonna combat everything, fight, argue this, and then it's going to leak over to everyone else. So I'm going to be Nabala. I'm going to be Nabala. I put an A on it to feminize it. I'm going to be Nabala. Right? I got me Nabal, and I'm going to be Nabala. The churlish woman with a churlish man, where you didn't have to be motivated by his actions. Abigail wasn't. She was motivated on a whole different end. Read on.
For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach.
This got to be the motivation that, wait a minute, I got to stand in front of Yahweh Shai for my actions. My actions aren't predicated off someone else. I can't stand in front of Christ and be like, oh, he made me do it. He's going to be like, he made you do what? He made you do what?
Well, if he didn't do that, I wouldn't have done this.
He made you do what? You going to know you're not your own self? You didn't examine? You didn't read the scriptures? You didn't see that you had a different alternative? Come on.
That everyone may receive the things done in his body.
Go ahead.
According to that he have done.
Right. You're going to receive what you did regardless. You're going to receive what you do regardless of another man, another woman, another person, signs and wonders. You're going to receive the things that you do in your body. Read.
Whether it be good or bad.
You reap what you sow. Read on.
Knowing therefore the terror of the Most High.
Here comes this terror again. Knowing the terror. Am I motivated by the terror? No, but I know that power is a consuming power, and I don't want to fall into that. So what do? I do what I got to do. I do what needs to be done, but not because it needs to be done. Does that make sense? I do what needs to be done, not out of necessity, because none of us are needed. Nothing should be done out of a necessity, but out of a free will, out of a willing mind, out of the understanding that this is what pleases the Most High. For me to be a good wife, for me to be a good brother, for me to be a good husband, for me to be diligent, faithful, consistent, for me to not let pride and emotions take over, for me not to be covetous, drunkard, hateful, striker. All these things is what pleases the Most High. For me not to be a man pleaser. For me to be motivated within myself that this is the will and I'm following it. You gotta ask yourself this, man. If you showed up here Friday and nobody came, what would you do? I've been here on Fridays and nobody came. And we still just sat here and taught class to the babies, right? Or one rib. Imagine if there ain't nobody in class. Oh, you know what? Let's just pack it on up. There's only one sister and two babies. That's all. What would happen? We would start building up this motivation that you got to have a certain number of people in class to teach. Prophesy to the wind. The word don't go out void. Right? Long as there's somebody to hear, somebody going to hear. The motivation has to be in you. Go ahead. What's that?
Didn't LeBron James in the beginning of the COVID thing, when everything got shut down, he was like, I'm not going to play if there's nobody in the seats?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to play if there's no fans to appease. Well, that's a little bit of a different type of industry because they play for the fans. They play their entertainers. Right? So I can understand that, but guess what? They doing it. They playing they playing the coaches are watching and us on TV.
Yeah.
So they're doing it. But that's a little bit different where their job is to entertain. People pay to go see them. But our motivation ain't people. Right? It shouldn't be people and who's watching and who's not. It's telling us. Go ahead, read on.
Knowing therefore the terror of the Most High.
Go ahead.
We persuade men.
He said we persuade. See, we persuade men. We say, listen, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. Because we know the terror. We see it. We hear it. This is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. Go ahead.
But we are made manifest unto God.
But what?
Made manifest unto God.
See, we're made manifest unto the Most High, not unto men. Read on.
And I trust also are made manifest in your consciences.
How in your conscience? Well, because when you see that year after year, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Right? Brothers are here. We basically here every single day doing the same thing. That should be made manifest in your conscience that, wait a minute, what's motivating them? What's pushing them? What's propelling their minds? When sisters wake up every day, jump behind this computer. They wake up when they got to go do garments, they knock them out. Every time we have feasts, they knock them out. Whatever they got to do, clean the school. What's propelling that mind? That's the made man. It should spark in your conscience. Wait a minute. What pushes you? What fuels the fire?
The gear turning.
What keeps your gears turning? What's the oil for your machine? Mm-hmm. Right? Read on.
For we commend not ourselves again unto you.
Go ahead.
But give you occasion to glory on our behalf.
Go ahead.
That ye may have somewhat.
That's it on that. That's it on that. Go to Hebrews 6 and 10. Hebrews 6:10. Then Hebrews 13 and 7. Let's try to get through. Let's not try to keep everybody here late.
Hebrews chapter 6 verse 10.
Go ahead.
For the Most High is not unrighteous.
For Quatazap.
For the Most High.
Stop.
For the Most High.
Yashikar.
For the Most High.
Go ahead.
Is not unrighteous to forget your work.
See, I'll forget what you did. I'll forget your works. If I don't see you enough times, I'll forget you. That's just it's sad. My mind is like out of sight, out of mind. Man will forget is the point. I forgot What I ate for breakfast this morning.
Juice.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't forget. Turmeric shots was the first thing I ate. Shots of turmeric and black pepper and cayenne. Ginger and lime. Man forgets. The Most High ain't gonna forget the things that you do in the open or in secret.
That's why you're saying do things in secret, right?
Well, remember, everything ain't gonna be done in secret because the sisters do garments and we all wearing them. Everyone sees it, right? So yes, there are things when you do your alms, meaning you don't make a boast of everything you do, but everything's not gonna be done in secret because there are some things that are done and they appear to all. You see that? But the things that you do, you're not supposed to make a boast out of it. Like sisters ain't peeling into the school like, see, I did that garment and I put that stitch in. Look how straight that stitch is. I'm the one that does that. I'm like, that's some good stitch work, sis. Right? Some real straight lines. Right? Some beautiful garment. We do that. The scriptures say, let other man praise you. Praise your works. Go ahead.
And labor of love.
Right.
Which ye have showed toward his name.
See, it all got to be towards his name. Go ahead.
And that ye have ministered to the saints.
Go ahead.
And do minister.
Read on.
And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence.
So the same diligence has to be in all of us. The same diligence to please the Most High. Go ahead.
To the full assurance of hope unto the end.
Unto the end. Read on.
That ye be not slothful.
That you be not what?
Slothful.
Yeah, your works can't diminish because you're not getting the kudos. Your works can't diminish because you're not getting the praise. Your works can't diminish because your favorite brother ain't around or your favorite sister left. Well, she left, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Damn, she was my motivation. She was my reason for the season. Go ahead.
But followers of them who through faith.
He said, but what?
Followers of them.
So you're supposed to follow them that what?
Who through faith and patience
right?
inherit the promises.
What was Abraham's motivation to inherit the promise, to get the promise? Did he see someone else leave the Ur of Chaldees and go to the land of Canaan?
Wow.
He didn't know where the land of Canaan was. He just knew I gotta go west. Yeah. He just knew I gotta get up and go. But what was he motivated by really? Pleasing the Most High. Think about it. To get up with all them servants and men just to go west, you'd be like, I gotta really do that? It's a lot of movement. All that cattle, so great. All that stuff I gotta move, like, damn, you'd be like, wow, not really motivated to do that. But think about his motivation, how strong it had to be in the Most High for him to pack up his whole entire house. Not just him and 2 kids and a rib. Him, a rib, a nephew, all his nephew stuff, his 300 trained servants that were born in his house, their families, all their cattle, all his cattle. I mean, it wasn't no easy trek.
No.
Right? Some of us ain't even motivated to go to the corner store. Like, dang, man, I want that Twix, but the motivation ain't strong enough. Right? Like, man, that thing can wait. Right? It's just down the street.
It's not that important.
It ain't like that ain't that important. Yeah, like my motivation, listen, I'm more motivated to sit on this couch. Right? I'm more motivated to sit here and chill. That Twix, that can wait. I'll do that when I'm en route to somewhere. Right? When I got a purpose. Read on.
For when the Most High made promise to Abraham.
That's it on that. Hebrews 13:7.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
Remember them which had the rule over you.
So what is it saying? Remember the leadership. Remember the example. Remember the ensamples. Remember the guides. Go ahead.
Who have spoken unto you the word of God.
Wait, they have done what?
Have spoken unto you the word of the Most High.
So their words match their action. Read.
Whose faith follows.
Wait, he said what?
Whose faith follows.
He said follow their faith. He said to follow their level of faith. So man was there for you to have an example, but not to be your sole motivation. Because what happens when their faith diminishes? What happens when your leader faith diminishes? Like Kazaki is like, you know what, Akim? He start closing his Bible, and then he pulls out the Book of Mormon.
Oh no!
Or he pulls out.
Oh no!
You know about
Kazak's probably watching.
Oh no!
Kazak pulls out the Book of Jehovah Witness or whatever book, Quran.
Oh no! I would be like,
he becomes a Jesuit priest.
I was like, he's pulling it out for a reason because he's going to teach something against the wickedness that they got in that
right,
book.
but then he start speaking Arabic, praying 5 times a day, rocking a kufi.
Oh.
Am I supposed to start rocking a kufi too? Nah. I'm gonna follow his faith up into a point where it's no longer faith, it's foolishness. You got to be able to discern, because if you're not looking, you'll follow blindly. You'll follow, but that's where the iron sharpeneth iron. That's where the woe to a man that's left alone. That's where we bounce off of each other and sharpen each other and strengthen each other. The communication, all these different things, the counsel that are needed. You see that? Go ahead.
Considering the end of their conversation.
2 Thessalonians 3:9. 2 Thessalonians 3:7, excuse me.
2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 7.
Go ahead.
For yourselves know how ye ought to follow us.
See that? Paul was even letting the Thessalonians know. Listen, the people of Thessalonica, this is how you know how you're supposed to follow, because that's what man was there to do. Man was there to be an example to follow. If you didn't know how to do it, or you didn't think it could be done, well, look at their faith. Look at the way they do things. Go ahead.
For we behave not ourselves disorderly among you.
Go ahead.
Neither did we eat any man's bread for naught.
Read on.
But wrought with labor and travail night and day.
Right. What was Paul laboring and travailing? Trying to be accepted of the Most High. Go ahead.
That we might not be chargeable to any of you.
Verse 9 is the point. Go ahead.
Not because we have not power.
Go ahead.
But to make ourselves an ensample unto you.
To do what?
To make ourselves an ensample unto you.
Man was for what?
An ensample.
Go ahead.
Unto you to follow us.
Yeah, man. That's why you have the guides. That's why you have leaders. That's why you have a head. Was for you to follow. But they couldn't be your sole motivation. Because as soon as they started to slip in judgment, if so, or error in judgment on a course that is like, okay, the point of no return, what do? 1 minute, Immaculate Conception, that's been put into the Bible wickedly. The next minute, I'm like, hey, Akim, made a mistake on that. That Immaculate Conception thing, yeah, that happened. What y'all supposed to do? Be like, Con! You're right, brother. No, you're supposed to dive back into the word, dive back into the study and say, wait, nah, bro, that's wrong. That's off. Right? Not ride with the foolishness. Not let that, every little wind of doctrine is my motivation. You got some brothers and sisters that's on that. Every wind of doctrine. That's what motivates you, the different doctrines. I just like to hear different doctrines all the time. So confusion motivates you? Ooh, that's scary. So what happens when all the doctrines fail? What you gonna do? What you gonna be motivated by? When all that stuff gets worked out, what's gonna be your motivation? Not Christ, not the kingdom, not pleasing the Most High, but just hearing doctrine? Itching ears motivates some. The need to hear what they want to hear. Like, man, he told me the right thing. He made that sound good. I like that.
Told me what I wanted to hear.
Told me what I wanted to hear. How do you know? Because they'll go and say, hey, brother, what do you think about me getting with a chick I just met yesterday? And you're like, no. And then he'll go to the next brother, hey, brother, what do you think about me getting with a chick I just met yesterday? And the brother's like, what the hell are you talking about? Nah, what did Shaddai tell you? Well, he said, no. But I was just thinking, nah, bro. And then he goes, well, hey, what do you think about me getting with the chick I just met yesterday? It's like, what the hell? You got to go get 3 different answers, but all the same? Right. What are you motivated by?
No, then they stop asking the leadership. Then they ask the brothers next to them.
They start asking the kids?
The kids. They start asking the kids.
hey, little Ock. I know you're only 9, but let me get your counsel on this. They start asking Noah. And Elijah.
They'll get shut down by knowing Elijah.
That was a good one.
No, God.
It's sad. You know why it's a good one? Because it's damn near true. It's damn near true. Go to so the fire has to be within us. The fire has to burn in each individual. We all got to have our own flame. We all got to have our own candle. We all got to have our own oil. 2 Timothy 1:5.
2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 5.
Go ahead.
When I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in thee,
Go ahead.
which dwelt first in thy grandmother Lois.
Now remember, this is Paul writing to Timothy. Timothy wasn't with Grandmama Lois. Timothy was off doing his own school, building his own church. But what did he do with that faith that was in his grandmother? He took that faith, right? And he used it and built on it. Go ahead.
And thy mother Eunice.
Right. What did his mother do? Took the faith from Granny Lois and Mama Eunice, instilled it in Timothy. And what did Timothy do? He built on it. They weren't around him when he was going from school to school. So what did he have to have? He had to have his own, he had to have almost, it's like a nuclear engine. Self-sufficiency. It's like the train in Snowpiercer. Y'all seen that movie? Where it's just a self-propelling engine? You don't add no coal. You don't add no fire. You don't add no man, no woman, no doctrine. It just goes. Every turn is what propels it. Every moving forward gives it the affirmation that, oh, keep going. The assurance, keep going. The faith in your, which dwelt in thy grandmother Lois and thy mother Eunice. Go ahead.
And I am persuaded that in thee also.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. Wherefore, I put thee in remembrance.
I'm putting y'all in remembrance. Read.
That thou stir up the gift of the Most High.
Yeah, you need to keep that gift, that fire burning. That fire that is in all of us should be constantly burning for the Most High to please Him. And there's things that He has given us that are more sure than man. Signs, wonders. There's things that He's given us to ensure that fire burns. You got to use it. Read. No, jump from there. Go to Exodus 36 and 1. Go to Exodus 36 and 1.
Exodus chapter 36 verse 1.
Go ahead.
Then wrought Bezaleel and Aholiab,
right,
and every wise-hearted man,
right,
in whom the Lord put wisdom and understanding.
See, wisdom and understanding is what's going to propel you. That's going to propel you to greatness. That's going to motivate you to greatness, to every good work. That's going to keep you moving. Wisdom and understanding. Go ahead.
To know how to work all manner of work.
Come on.
For the service of the sanctuary.
Go ahead.
According to all that the Lord had commanded.
Verse 2 and 3. Go ahead.
And Moses called Bezaleel and Aholiab and every wise-hearted man in whose heart the Lord had put wisdom. Even everyone whose heart stirred him up.
Whose heart did what?
Stirred him up.
Yeah, you got to be stirred up in your own mind through the wisdom and understanding of what I'm doing and why. What is the purpose? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is what should stir you up to understand why you should be motivated a certain way. Go ahead.
Whose heart stirred him up to come unto the work.
Right.
To do it.
You see that? Your heart, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the things that compel you through the wisdom. It says, not oppression maketh the wise man mad. What's the other one? Much sorrow is much grief. Much wisdom is much sorrow or much grief. But think about it. The more you learn about your condition, the more you understand why we're in the conditions that we're in. Shouldn't that push you more to get out of it? Right? The more wisdom you get, the more knowledge you get to push yourself. It shouldn't be, well, I'm in the ghetto and I got to get out. What's the reason to get out? Just be comfortable in the ghetto. Be comfortable in the hood. Be comfortable around drugs and guns. They ain't affecting you. There got to be a greater purpose, a greater motivation. But wisdom, knowledge, understanding is what shows you, and then it should compel you to move. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And then received of Moses.
That's it on that. That's it on that.
Okay.
So you got to have a fire that burns in you. You got to be stirred up in your own heart, in your own mind. Right? Go from there. Go to John chapter 10 and verse 11.
John chapter 10.
And it has to line up with the will of the Most High. So it's not just, oh, well, I got wisdom, knowledge, understanding. But what does the will of the Most High say? What did Yahweh Shai do? What motivated him to lay down his life? Did he need to see signs and wonders? He was the one that was given the signs and wonders. So did he need to see certain things happen for him to lay down his life? Read John chapter 10 and verse 11.
The book of John chapter 10 verse 11.
Right?
I am the good shepherd.
Go ahead.
The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
Right. Does the good shepherd wait for the sheep to be in the teeth of the wolf to take action? Wow. Or is he constantly like watching? Where's the wolf coming from? Hey, little sheepy, don't go too close to that cliff. Come on over. Right? Don't go that way. Nope, come on. Nope. Nope. He's constantly working to ensure the safety of the sheep before there is danger. So he's motivated off the safety of the sheep, not when they're in danger, but beforehand. He's actually motivated off them, the sheep, when they're in safety.
And leaveth the sheep.
Yeah, he's like, oh, the wolf, man, I ain't got time to mess with that wolf. I got other things to go handle. It's cold out here. It's cold out here. Why am I out here? Man, these damn sheep always trying to eat, always trying to walk off. What am I here for? His motivation is wrong. So he'll leave off the job. Go ahead.
And fleeth.
Right.
And the wolf catcheth them.
Right.
And scattereth the sheep.
Read.
The hireling fleeth because he is an hireling.
Right. So you got to ask yourself, am I a hireling or am I a shepherd? Well, that depends on what you're motivated by. That depends on what you're motivated by, and it'll show your intentions. Read on.
And careth not for the sheep.
Go ahead.
Verse 14. I am the good shepherd.
See how Shai is speaking. He said, I'm the good shepherd, man. I ain't no damn hireling. I'm the good shepherd. I'm going to be motivated by keeping the sheep safe. Go ahead. Sheep safe. Right.
And know my sheep.
Go ahead.
And am known of mine.
Right.
As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep.
Go ahead.
And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. And they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
17 and 18.
Therefore doth my Father love me.
Right.
Because I laid down my life.
See, Yahweh Shai was accepted. His works were found acceptable because he laid down his life. He had a motivation to protect the sheep. No one had to come and snatch his life and say, look, you got to do this. Because, Moses, David, those guys were doing it, so now you have to do it. He said, I lay down my life. I'm already motivated. I already know what is needed. I already have the will. Go ahead.
Verse 18. No man taketh it from me.
Read 17 again.
Verse 17. Therefore doth my Father love me, because I lay down my life.
Don't we want the Most High to love us? Don't we want to be accepted of the Most High? So we got to do things according to what we know is right in his eyes. A lot of us got the battle within us of, do I continue or do I not? Do I continue this walk? Do I keep pushing forward? I got all these other obstacles around me. I got this problem. I got this issue. I got this lust. It's going to be good. Or I can keep walking this walk and, some of y'all are in truth like, it's like a bitter taste in your mouth. Well, it's because you're motivated. You're looking at the wrong things. I would have had my eyes set on the right things to keep me pushing. You ever ask yourself, how can a person go to the same job for 30 years? My dad did that. He retired from, like 21 years. Listen, my older sister did that. She worked for Verizon for 30 years. She retired. Or they kicked her out of there. But think about, the change should be you getting better. Not the truth weighing down on you. Not the wisdom burdening you. It tells you in Ecclesiastes 6. You put them chains on, they feel like chains. You feel like a prisoner. You're like, dang, prisoner.
Yep.
But through time, they become robes of glory and a defense. And when is it going to stop? And not like, when is it going to end like Christ comes? You're like, man, when am I just going to put on my mantle and walk away from this? 15 years, 8 years, 2 years. What's that?
Looking for retirement in truth?
Yeah, you're like, man, when are they going to lay me off? When am I going to get laid off? When am I going to get the courage to walk away? Well, you're motivated the wrong way because you'll stick at that job as long as they'll have you. Some of y'all will work a job in slavery for 30 years and just be like, well, I get some pension, get some retirement, right? Read.
That I might take it again.
Go ahead.
Verse 18. No man taketh it from me.
No man is the motivation. No man taketh what I have to give. Read.
But I lay it down of myself.
But what?
I lay it down of myself.
Hawashai had it within himself to do good, to do the will, to do the purpose, to be motivated. Off of the wisdom and the word. Go ahead.
I have power to lay it down.
Right.
And I have power to take it again.
Right.
This commandment have I received of my Father.
Right. So you're motivated by the will of the Most High. You're motivated by the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding. We're also supposed to be motivated by the word. That's first and foremost, because that's the first thing we have. 1 Peter 1:22, Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 11. I stole
1 Peter chapter 1 verse 22.
Lagarab, I stole your scripture. Go ahead, read.
Seeing ye have purified your souls.
Right.
In obeying the truth.
In obeying the what?
In obeying the truth.
Go ahead.
Through the Spirit.
Right.
Unto unfeigned love.
Right. No fake love. Go ahead.
Of the brethren.
Go ahead.
Seeing that ye love one another with a pure heart fervently.
Right. So we were supposed to purify our minds and obey the truth. Obey the word. What does the word say do? Right? Go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 11.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 11.
Go ahead.
The words of the wise are as gold.
Right. When you look up the word goad, a pointed instrument used to stimulate a beast to move faster.
Yeah, that's the scripture.
To incite, to stimulate, to instigate, to urge forward, to arouse, to rouse up, to motivate. It says the words of the wise are what?
Are as gold.
Go ahead.
And as nails fastened by the masters.
So the words of the wise are like a stimulation. Is that a right word? Stimulation? Yeah, a stimuli. The words of the wise were supposed to stimulate. When you read up, this is talking about Proverbs. It was going into Proverbs, and it was talking about all these Proverbs that were written, and that they were supposed to stimulate. But we know that all the words of the Most High should stimulate us and motivate us and urge us forward. Right? John 6 and 63.
St. John chapter 6 verse 63.
Go ahead.
It is a spirit that quickeneth.
It is the spirit that what?
That quickeneth.
Yeah, it's the spirit that brings to life. It should be the spirit that motivates, that pushes, that moves you forward. the wisdom, the wise words. The Spirit should be like a goad, inciting you to do the right thing, pushing you, urging you. Go ahead.
The flesh profiteth nothing.
Go ahead.
The words I speak unto you.
So all your other motivations, yeah, have those there too. But the word, the wisdom, the knowledge, the will to please the Most High, that should be stimuli. That should be the push. Whatsoever you do, Colossians 3 verse 23, I didn't put it in there. Whatsoever you do, do it wholeheartedly unto the Most High, not unto man. Knowing of the Lord, you'll receive your reward. Go ahead.
They are spirit.
Right.
And they are life.
Right. Just go to 1 Thessalonians, last scripture, 1 Thessalonians 5:18.
1 Thessalonians,
right.
Chapter 5, verse 18.
Go ahead.
And everything give thanks.
Right.
For this is the will of the Most High and Hamashiach Yahushai.
Verse 19. Oh, go ahead. Read on.
Concerning you.
Go ahead.
Quench not the spirit.
He said what?
Quench not the spirit.
Yeah. Don't water down or quench the things that are supposed to motivate you. The Spirit is more than just great words. It's chastising words. The Spirit is more than just, oh, doing a good job. It's also, hey, you did a bad job. It's also, let's do better. Let's how? It's reproof, it's doctrine, it's exhortation, it's all these things. It's the examples. It's the men doing good works around you. All those things done in the Spirit is what we should be looking at to propel us forward and motivate. This is how you achieve the longevity. Any questions? I know we went over 10 minutes. I'm trying to cut that back down to the 2 hours. So, pardon my brisk ending. I mean, if that's it, hopefully somebody got something out of that. Yeah. Hopefully I got something out of that. Hopefully it helps to change a little bit of the perspective. If you were in the wrong mind, if not, then so be it. He that hath the ear to hear, let him hear. All right. So with that, we'll say shalom. Shalom. We'll see y'all back here.
Chill, for real.
Judah, 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 never leave Judah.